And the media, as of late, they've been talking about the states that are trying to keep the former President Trump off of the ballots in their respective state. And the ones that appear to be in the media right now are Michigan and Colorado. Now, I looked at Michigan. Michigan appears to be a Democratic state, and a solid Democratic state, and their economy is based on manufacturing, of course. When you look at Colorado, their politics seems to be a little bit weird, to me at least. So their political structure seems to be in favor of the Democratic Party, voting Democrats into their government, having Democratic representatives, having Democrat U.S. senators, having Democratic U.S. senators, having Democratic representatives in that state of Colorado. But when you look at how these people vote in Colorado, the Coloradians, it appears that about 25% seem to be voting, seem to be Republicans, and then 25% seem to be Democrats. And then, which is very unusual, about 50% seem to be unaffiliated. The actual citizens in that state are actually non-native, so they weren't born in that state. So majority of the voters are then non-native. So if the majority of the voters in the voting pool are unaffiliated, then I would have to say that majority is probably the non-native majority is probably voting, not voting, but probably are unaffiliated voters, meaning they're looking to see what the Democrats can do, and then they're looking to see what the Republicans can do. But it seems that they usually have Democrats in office. So now when I look at their economy used to be based off of natural resources, and then it became, natural resources from the earth, so mining, and also irrigation, agriculture. So now it seems to be livestock, right? So now when you look at the national political stance of Trump, protesting to bring jobs back to the United States, then in the case of Colorado, they're saying, or you would have to, it's only right to believe they're saying, well, we're not getting meat. We're not getting meat from China, so that doesn't speak to us. But when you look at Michigan, right, and you hear Trump protesting bringing jobs back to the United States, well, that is the hub of manufacturing, right? So the people that live there work in these plants, and if these plants aren't producing enough vehicles or whatever they may be manufacturing, and alternatively these products are being brought in by international means, then these voters benefit from Trump being in office. So now it makes sense. It makes sense why Michigan Supreme Court ruled that they will not remove Trump's name off of the ballot, and why Colorado Supreme Court, they will remove Trump's name off of the ballot. Michigan is considered a swing state, and Trump actually won that state. So they are familiar with Trump politics. They like it. So it makes sense that their Supreme Court would rule in favor of his name being on the ballot, right? Because obviously their economy is based on manufacturing. Trump is protesting U.S. based manufacturing. And another thing is Colorado, even though 50% of the voting pool is unaffiliated, they probably prop up the Democratic side, which means that's now 75% of Democrat support. An unaffiliated voter for a Republican or a Democrat. You're just saying that, hey, listen, I'm not a Democrat and I'm not a Republican, but I'm voting for this person regardless, right? So when you're talking Supreme Court, you can't separate the Supreme Court from the actual politics just because it is a court and they're supposed to give you the justice and also judge matters based on, presidents, right? So you can't just because they're a court look at them as being unbiased, right? They have political needs that need to be met. As a matter of fact, the Supreme Court, the president is the one who gives them their job, right? So they're put in place. Judges are politically put into position.